South Korea's August extraordinary session of the National Assembly opened today with political tensions at a boiling point. The ruling and opposition parties remain locked in a standoff over key bills, marking the first time in a year that the legislature has entered a formal filibuster standoff. Joining us in the studio is our political correspondent, Hye-ryeon. Welcome, Hye-ryeon.
Thank you for having me on the show.
So, Hye-ryeon, walk us through the current situation at the parliament.
That's right. So the latest political showdown currently revolves around 5 contentious bills. And so far, we've seen that 2 of these bills have been introduced at parliament before being followed up by filibusters launched by the opposition People Power Party. So on Monday, the PPP launched a 24-hour filibuster to block a controversial broadcasting reform bill. But on Tuesday, the DP and the Liberal bloc ended it with a supermajority vote as allowed under Assembly rules. With the threshold met, the DP swiftly passed the bill, 178 in favour and 2 against. A second reform bill was then introduced, triggering yet another PPP filibuster. That too was then cut short at midnight as the July extraordinary session ended after just 7 hours. The media reform bill that was passed through Parliament yesterday afternoon is an amendment of the Broadcasting Act and is one of 3 contentious media reform bills backed by the DP. The bills aim to change how the heads of public broadcasters are appointed. So rather than being selected solely by a broadcaster's board of directors, a new recommendation committee composed of experts from various sectors will now nominate candidates. Currently, board members are selected largely based on political appointments, often resulting in accusations of government bias. Under the new law, a broader, more diverse recommendation committee, including members from civil society and academia, would nominate board members. The number of board members, too, will increase. The ruling party argues this will reduce political interference and promote independence in public broadcasting. But the opposition strongly disagrees, saying the change could instead shift control towards liberal-leaning civic groups and further politicize media under the guise of reform. A spokesperson from the presidential office today commented on the passage of the bill, saying that it aligns closely with the Lee Jae-myung administration's push to return public broadcasting to the people and represents an important first step in reforming how public broadcasters are run.
It represents a crucial first step in institutionalizing reforms to the governance structure of public broadcasters, an issue that has long been considered an urgent task.
Now, Hye-ryeon, you mentioned there are 5 contentious bills on the table. What are the others?
So beyond the media reform bills that I just talked about, there are 2 others that lawmakers are currently divided on. And one of them is the so-called Yellow Envelope Bill, which is essentially an amendment of labor union laws that limits employer action on striking union members. And another is a proposed revision to the Commercial Act that aims to strengthen corporate governance transparency and protect minority shareholders' rights, particularly within large corporations. And both are being championed by the Democratic Party, while the People Power Party remains staunchly opposed. And here's what they had to say on the Yellow Envelope Bill.
By adjusting the balance in labor management relations, this will be the first step toward enabling dialogue at sites where subcontractors couldn't even speak to their main contractors, paving the way for voluntary horizontal cooperation.
The Yellow Envelope Bill could encourage unlimited illegal strikes and has high potential to devastate industrial sites.
Then, Hye-ryeon, my question is then, will these bills be finally passed in the August session, do you think?
Well, so looking ahead, it looks as though the August session is going to be highly combative as it has been so far. And another plenary session is currently scheduled for August 21st. And the People Power Party has already warned that it will launch filibusters against all of the bills remaining on the agenda if they're pushed forward without bipartisan agreement. Meanwhile, the Democratic Party appears to be taking an approach that's being described as salami slicing. So they're passing bills one by one to wear down resistance. So all eyes are now on whether the opposition will stick to its filibuster threats.
Indeed, Hye-ryeon, thank you for the breakdown tonight.
Thank you for having me.